Hey YouTube, this is Maestro with Bendu Lightsaber Combat. Welcome to another installment of Knights Level Makashi. Today I have Darth Juggernaut here helping us out with a very important element in Makashi. As you know, Makashi is all about technical sophistication in a duel, picking apart the opponent, getting around the guard, not smashing through it. One of the best ways, one of our favorite ways to do that is utilizing what we call wraps, to wrap the blade around the opponent's guard, almost like a dig, except that it's done in one single tempo. So we go from a guard position into an attack that circumvents the opponent's ability to block it. With traditional blocks, wraps are still blockable, but you have to take special steps to do so. All right. So Darth Juggernaut's going to get us started off with his favorite wrap, and we'll go from there.
So the best description for this wrap is it's more of just a rising backhand cut. And my target is going to be his armpit, or his hip, or his elbow. And how I'm going to go about this is I'm going to attack from a fairly safe distance, and I'm going to lower my hips, and I'm just going to turn my hand as I raise my sword.
One of my favorite wraps is actually the cross. It's called the cross because traditionally we reach across the body and actually attack in the opponent's dead side. So if I'm facing a right-handed fencer like him, and we go to on guard here, my attacks traditionally are going to come in from this angle or from this angle. But if I lead up on this side, he can throw a block and block the shot. Okay? With the cross wrap, I'm actually going to start on my right side, and I'm going to reach over his guard in order to tag part of his body. The targets on this one generally are going to be the wrist to the elbow. That way I don't have to get so close to him that I hit his body or his head. So I want to start from out here. Step back a little. There you go. So I want to start from out here, again where I'm safe. He can't reach me in one movement. So if he takes a swing at me without moving his feet, he's not going to be able to reach me. And I'm going to cross wrap. I can also target the shoulder if we end up close. For instance, if he attempts to attack me, I can parry, and I can throw a cross wrap deeper into his shoulder or even into his head. And this allows me to circumvent and come outside.
I'd like to talk about just the plain straight wrap, which is, this is just good for getting around a static guard they keep putting in your face. Anytime that I can buy an angle on him, all I have to do is turn my hand, and I can get inside that guard.
Another really fun wrap to do, and I really recommend this one, especially if you find yourself in those situations when you're dueling, where you end up nose to nose with your opponent. I have two options if I'm nose to nose with my opponent. Let's say something happens here with Juggernaut and I, we're fighting and we go in and we get in this position. This is a tough position to fight from. Now, if I don't have any wraps, what I've got to do is I've got to open up distance and try to cut him before he cuts me. Probably not going to happen, and I'm exposed while I'm backing up. If we end up this close in a position similar to this, I can stay right here or even get closer and still attack him with what's called the hip scoop. So all I'm going to do is take my sword, rotate my hand around and come up and pop the back end, the thumb side of my blade, the false edge, into his butt or into his hip. I want to come up in a hip scoop and not over, because if my hand is up here, his blade might be in my way. And then I'm going into his blade, and I don't want to do that. I want to hit his body. So when we're this close, I'm just going to drop my arm fast, boom, and hip scoop.
To further add to that, if I end up in a situation where I'm that close, my first inclination is to control his wrist. So once I have control here, I can do anything I want to him. So one more wrap that I'd like to talk about is just an inside leg crescent. And how I tend to use this against a left-handed opponent here. I mean, I have all this to work with, but if they're, good, and they're a difficult opponent to get inside on their guard here, one thing I can do is it's as simple as bringing this backhand across their leg. And I can enhance this by lowering my level as I throw this. This does two things. This buys me distance from him. If he's throwing up towards my head and shoulders, it gets me out of there, and it puts my shoulder more on line with my target, which is his thigh.
Alright, so those are your basic wraps. There are a few technical variants that we'll cover in later videos, and different ways that you can apply these in a tactical mindset, but those are the basics to get you started on wrapping people. So I want to thank Darth Juggernaut for his help on this video, and we'll see you guys later. Happy sabering!